In her care, parents share. With over 20 years of experience in childcare and preschool, and now reaching 10 years of owning her own preschool, Miss Cynthia has impacted the lives of many. But don't just take our word for it. Let's hear from our parents. In her care, parents share.
The Powers family was with us for, I want to say 7 years. So their son, Jackson, their oldest, he started with me, I believe he was.
We've been longtime veterans of In Her Care. My eldest started when he was 15 months old and actually stayed through until he went into kindergarten. And when we had our second, we knew right away that our second would also join In Her Care. And he started at only 3 months old, so he basically grew up there with Cynthia and her staff. We love In Her Care. We were looking for a place when we were trying to figure out what to do with our son, and we needed a place that we felt comfortable in as parents, but I didn't want a place that was just going to be watching our child. So when we came and we met with Cynthia and she toured us around, the thing that stuck out was it wasn't just a place where you expect them to be watching your children while you go to work and they're just babysitters. They actually are so intentional with every single thing that they do. And In Her Care is really, truly more like a preschool than it is a daycare, without the whole big school feeling of a preschool. She has such a structure there that we love. The kids have a chance to be able to be themselves, but they also have a chance to learn and grow every single day with circle time and educational aspects thrown in throughout the day. By the time my eldest went to kindergarten, he was at the top of his class. And he wasn't even at a traditional preschool per se. He was within Her Care. But Cynthia and her staff are amazing. And the things that they do to help your kids grow in mind and in body and even in emotions and feelings for these kids is exponential. And our son, and even our second one, now that our second one is in kindergarten as well, has exceeded expectations with their studies. They are one of the top in their class and they continue to grow. And I attribute all of that to Cynthia and her staff. Without them, I don't know if I would have the capacity to have taught my children all the things that they needed to do in order to prepare them for going into school. And then the fact that she really treats our kids like family. By the end of it, we were there for 7 years, and Cynthia and her family, they're family to us now. And it's wonderful for us to still be able to stay connected all through these years. I actually am due with our third, and when that baby is old enough, we will be sending them again to Cynthia and In Her Care, just because she really does care for you as a parent and for your children. And she partners with you to make sure that anything that your child's struggling with, she will help to work through it with you, both for you to take home when the kid goes home, as well as to help when the kid is in her care as well. So I think that if you're looking for a place that is not just a babysitting place, but a place that cares, a place that nurtures, a place that continues to help to mold your children educationally and emotionally and socially, In Her Care is the place that you want to be.
And Jackson was always such a very bright child. Like, you could just tell he was just so advanced and he just knew so much, so smart. And I loved watching him grow. And then they had Mason, who came a little bit later. And then eventually Jackson left me and went to kindergarten. But luckily with the Powers family, they're like an extended family to us because they their kids have grown with my kids. So Jackson is the same age as my daughter, and they've grown up together since daycare days. And then when they went off to school, they all are going to the same school. So my son was already there, but Jackson and Yaya joined into kindergarten, and they were able to share the same class together a few years because they were on the same track. So it's pretty cool to watch that growth together. Annabelle has always been so amazing, so helpful. Like, she's one of those, her and Jarrett are one of those parents where, like, I absolutely love them. Like, they've always been super supportive with everything. And even with our kids going into school together, it was always nice to have her there and be able to, like, communicate with her about different school things from, like, mom to mom aspect, and not just, like, parent to daycare. Like, we had that in common, so that was always cool. And then Mason was born and he came to daycare, and so then he grew up with my youngest, Alan. They're like a year apart, so they grew up together, and they always had their little friendship, and they're like always said they were besties. And it's just cute to watch these friendships grow, and as they get older, um how they, become and mature. And it's crazy. So every time we see them, it's always nice, and we keep in communication all the time. They don't live too far from us, and we try to get together outside and still have the kids link up. And it's amazing. I That's one thing that I can say. When I give tours to parents, I always let them know, like, my biggest thing is building relationships. Like, at the end of the day, like, if I can't build a relationship with you as a parent, and we can't have that, like I said before, open communication, like, that's where everything is key. Especially, like, if you're entrusting me with your child, like, I need to be able to have a good relationship with you. I need to be able to know that I can come to you and speak to you about things that concern me, and vice versa. Like, you should be able to feel comfortable enough to come to me with concerns as a parent. So it's just amazing that I'm able to create these bonds with people, and, like, friendships, and, like, they're beyond just, like, daycare. So it's our own little daycare family that we create with all our families here, and I love it. I love being able to, get invited to birthday parties, and spend those special moments with them, and milestone moments, because we get to do that here. But when they see Miss Cynthia outside of the class, it's a lot different. I think they're always super shocked to see me there, like, oh my gosh, you're here. But I enjoy being able to come to those, events, and make memories with them outside of just daycare.
In her care, parents share.
In her care. Care starts here. Click, comment, share. InHerCare.com